Welcome to the King Jeff podcast. I am Jeff Drummer, and it's my pleasure to be here to serve you tonight. I am a servant of the Most High God. I give him all honor, glory, praises, all that. It's my pleasure to have the opportunity to serve the people on his behalf, and I'm not playing with it. As I said before, my hair is on fire. Tonight's subject is, where do we go from here? We understand what has caused our circumstance to be what it is, and we fully understand it. We understand all the strengths and all the weaknesses that we possess to thrive in this society. And I just want to talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's bring it together. I saw your photo earlier. First of all, dude had not knees, so he wasn't going to represent me. I'm sexy. I used to be. So in my mind, I'm still good. And I'm just going to cap that right there. So where do we go from here? What we do is solve problems. If you take anything from me tonight, take this. Conflict resolution is the main thing that you have to become an expert in order to perform at your highest capacity. Every baby is born with no state of mind, blind to the ways of mankind. It's true, they have no context of life yet. They're empty slates until society feeds them with a worldview, a schema in which to think and go about living their lives. We constantly talk about culture. Culture is all the things that people do in the society in which they live. At this point, tonight's podcast is talking about, where do we go from here? What are we going to do to overturn the negative effects that's taking shape in our community? That's why we're here right now. What are we going to do to overturn or to empower ourselves and others? We have to first educate ourselves. Become very familiar with the society in which you live, how you're socialized in it, and then you can go from there. There's no way you can solve conflicts and issues if you don't understand that there are issues. And that is our largest problem in the context of today's society. Back in the day, we knew our problems. We felt our repression and our suppression every single day. It was built in the fabric from the moment that we arrived to the moment that we've been so-called liberated. There's been systems in place that were understood and felt. The ceiling, the glass ceiling that was built was very apparent. Slavery, vagrancy laws, redlining, all those systems, the prison system to keep you entangled. Amendments that said that you're free except if you get imprisoned, and then you can still be considered like enslaved. But we know all of those things. So we're going to talk about, where do we go from there? Today, systems are still in place to assure that you are repressed, voter suppression, all those things like that, like not giving, like not removing the clause of, 3/5 person. In the abolishing, in the removal of that, they added something else that said, well, we're going to remove that to say that all men are equal. However, They also wrote in the same, to counter that, they said that, but you cannot take away the privilege of the individual states. So it's like, what? So you freed me, but then you imprisoned me again. Okay, you told me that I can't, that 3/5 person, I can't be, that can't be counted against me because I'm a whole person. I count as a whole vote. But then you said, well, but then you can't absolve the privilege of the individual states. So that means, so their privilege is to subjugate people. So that same removal of that 3/5 persons clause, the privilege, then can overturn that by law. So where do we go from here? Our people in general, today need to understand that there are still obstacles in our way that must be removed. The difference between then and now is, back then we understood that they had to be removed because they were real issues that disabled our walking, our being. Today has been loosened in many of those cases, and the urgency to deal with bondage, we don't feel that pressure like that anymore. We've absolved ourselves of it, and we just kind of ignore it. We live understanding that the suppression is there, but we've become comfortable with it, and we don't do much to remove it. So that's not what we're going to do, and that's not where we're going to go. I had a great discussion with the individual tonight, and the discussion said, we talked about what do we do today? And I addressed that. The question was, today compared to yesterday. What were our obstacles yesterday? Being snatched away from our land that we know. Familiarity. Brought to a foreign place. That's obstacle one. Physically detained by evil people who had no intention of treating you fairly, who needed you to do their bidding. That's two. Kidnapped, treated harshly, enslaved. So slavery. Unfamiliar place, treated harshly, enslaved. Work like dogs, conditioned to not be yourself. Kunta Kinte's name, just an example, renamed to Toby. Slavery. Willie Lynch, divided, conquered, played us against one another. Jim Crow created that inferiority complex that even resonates today, as shown by many of us trying to be like someone other than your African selves. And then the intellectual apathy, being lazy-minded, lazy, not quick to fulfill your obligation to become your best self. In the context of this community, we've grown comfortable in our suppression. So what do we do now? The great conversation that I had earlier was we have to overcome those weighty movements with a force that's greater than those. My friend is in a sorority. I'm not going to say her name, but Sororities do great work. I will admit, fraternities, great work. I will admit, churches, great works, organizations, good work, great work, and they deserve to be applauded. For anyone standing on the sidelines talking about what they don't do or what they ain't doing, they do way more than you. Everyone who has something to say about Al Sharpton, Umar Johnson, Jesse Jackson, all of the freedom fighters, being Crump, who I think is my cousin, like one of my cousins. You talk about them, but they do a million times more than you do. But this is the point that I'm at right now. And this is the point that this was the conversation that I had earlier. If we're going to do something relevant today to affect where we are now, we're going to have to unify. I know that's like a curse word nowadays. We're going to have to unify so that we can connect. Slavery was such a weighty matter. We didn't have a choice, nor did the citizens here. It was oppression, or you lose your slaves, you lose your life. You do not teach them to read. This is how you control a strong people. So, for all of the people that I named, the fraternities, the freedom fighters, the organizations, this is where we have to go from here. We have to start working together. If we're not working together, you're no better than the person that's doing little. Now, you're better than the people that are doing nothing. I have to admit it. But what's our why? Why are we doing what we're doing? It's time out for that old time saying that if you change the life of one, then you did your job. No. Systems can do better than that. That's what corporations are. That's what organization is. That's what standardization is. Standards. Standardization. Setting the terms for what's acceptable. Culture. Setting the terms for what's culturally acceptable. Standardization. Everybody has to wear the same thing, just like uniformity. Just like you go into a school and people are wearing uniforms. They'll tell you the parameters. You can wear a red shirt, blue shirt, green shirt, yellow shirt, whatever, and some khakis, some blue khakis or some brown khakis. But that's the way that it goes. So the Divine Nine, and I'm mentioning them only because I had a discussion with somebody who's a part of it, AKA, by the way, and I respect what you all do. What you're doing is pretty good. But there are some things that are bigger than what you are doing so far. Slavery, Jim Crow, Willie Lynch, intellectual apathy. Those were huge things. And they took over the land and they took over the people. So now to combat those things, it's going to take a concerted effort from every one of you, every organization, every ministry, every person that is of good mind, sound thinking. Every single one of those people are going to have to get actively involved in this movement. It's not optional. If we had an option, then I would be a happy man, because just with the few who I know the Christies, the Tamanis, the Mikes, like the brother Craigs, like those some bosses, we'd overturn this thing. But our few is not enough. So I'm looking for us to partner with every external organization. The United Leadership Alliance, that's what we do. We offer services with ourselves. What up, Corey? Thank you, my brother. And everybody, if you're on, check in. I appreciate you. That's the only way that I can see who's really on. So say something in the chat box. I appreciate it. And I'm looking forward to having you guys on the show someday. You see the link in the chat box. If you have an opportunity, if you feel brave, you want to discuss one of those three areas that we're focused on, finding yourself a relationship, a great mate that we can build a community on, finding a business partner who thinks, that's community minded, that want to prosper and get away from working for other people. Or if you want to join a community development team that's focused on community empowerment and not just your own personal self. I think I kind of forgot what I was talking about. Thanks a lot, Corey Bell. You made me forget. No, I'm serious, but I'm kidding with you. But yeah, I kind of forgot what I was talking about. Help me out, Christy. Say it in the chat box since you're not going to come on the show. What was I talking about? Anywho, the main point is we have to get it together. So everybody who is doing great things in the community, and we have to partner. There is no way that what we do in our small sphere is sufficient to overturn those 4 huge things, not to mention the harshness of the treatment, not to mention the unfamiliarity, if that's the word, unfamiliar, just the unfamiliarity of this new land. So if we're going to make a relevant impact in our lifetime, because tomorrow's not promised to us, we have to do something now beyond the talk. Thank you, Corey. Beyond the talk, we have to unify. For all of my contacts, my friends, guys, we have to come off the sideline, because I believe we really can overtake the culture. And that's all I'm talking about. Right now, because we're disconnected, we're allowing just anybody to set the terms, just to set the trends. And we know that the 1%ers who control all of the people in the matrix, they're just playing us like puppets, and we don't want that. So unification is the order for the day. If you want to start a business, unify. Get with someone who's like-minded so you can expedite, cushion yourself so that you can have space for growth. That never hurts. That's what the Willie Lynch philosophy did. It disconnected us. It divided us. So that's a great thing. All thriving communities have that partnership. That's why they're communities. Okay? So let's partner. Let's get together. Let's have those conversations, and let's overturn the negative effects of it. We have decided that we're going to target school campuses. Not that we're playing the game. We just understand where our children are, where citizens in this society are conditioned most outside of their home. Public schools have them for 7.5 hours a day. So it's our job to put our programs inside of the public school system. But beyond programs, we need to hire. We need to represent in the public school sector. Now, that's something that we do. We do have decent diversity inside of school, inside of the education system. There are women, which is great. Our men have to come up. We need more of a presence. Men, we got to be present. We have to play those roles, but we have to be present in our homes too. We have to be present in our neighborhoods as well. It's not optional. So we have a program called the 10-month cultural engineering program that we implant in public school systems. Our matrix project that I told you about, public school system as well. You can go to the Amazon bookstore and grab a copy. These possess our cultural codes. The matrix project, the way of power, the way to power, I'm sorry. These possess our cultural codes that's going to early on put these things in the minds of people. If you stay woke, you don't have to be woke up. If you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. That's what they say, right? So we want to build from the ground up. The older people, we want to get them to, and we have programs in place to make sure that we enrich them as well, so that when the children go inside the home, they're inside the house with a qualified person to restore and to help build them up. You got it? But we won't definitely have to get the children. So we train athletic programs. We have to be involved there. Our community, we love athletics. We love dance. We love movement. We love the arts. So let's use it for our good. Let's make sure that those people who are handling our children in any capacity are thoroughly trained in the ways of our codes to make sure that we're building. Oftentimes, our systems, oftentimes our programs that we enroll our children in are being led by people that do not represent your culture. They don't represent your values. And how can they build for your common good if they don't even know you or think about you? That's why it's pertinent that we be present in politics, in professional capacities, government, law enforcement, everything, everywhere, everything that concern us, we have to be present in it. So, as I was saying to the groups, we absolutely have to partner up and get involved. Here you go, Corey. It's called the Matrix Project, The Way to Power. The Matrix Project, The Way to Power. Okay, so now just thinking about our impact in the public school systems. I was a teacher for 26 years. God gave me this vision, and I knew I was going to run with it. I was a major player on every campus that I ever worked on, a major player. My voice meant something. The children respected me, and I respected them. It was straight love. Yeah, I was tough sometimes, but that's not the point. It was straight love. Anybody who's on this post that was a student of mine, that was anywhere related to me in any kind of way, you have the right. Please share. I don't have a problem. If you say Coach Drummer was a jerk or Mr. Drummer in college preparatory was a jerk, communicate it. It was straight love. And I was trying to do the absolute best for my kids, and not just trying. I know systemically and scientifically, it was so sound. We made beast kids doing. Young people, now they're young adults. They're running things. but I want to see them more present in the making of the community. I want to see them doing it all. But the impact that we have in schools, I just want to read this letter that I received from a student. You know my background. Well, you know a little bit about my background. Grew up in Northwood Hills, decent neighborhood around Sullivan Park, middle class community. Went to Twin Lakes High, went to Roosevelt Middle School. I mean, middle class communities, good people, pretty good. All right. By the time I made it to Texas Southern and graduated and came back home, the community changed a little bit. It was a little more, a little more hood. The game started when we were around, and it just kind of rolled and evolved from the time that I got back to that place. But this is one way that we can impact, like, where do we go from here? As I talk to people who work in education and I hear their ideas and I hear them, kind of playing the game, public school systems are not built to restore our community in any way. Guess what? The 1%ers run the public school systems, but we can get involved in our public schools and demand that certain programs are inserted in them. We can control that, our community. So as far as the organizations that are doing good things now, point number one, I said we need to unify. We need to get a united front so that we can really put together a program that challenges the movement of slavery. But let's just build from our space and then connect with other plants that are doing the same thing in their spaces. But if you're a freestanding organization, if you have a collective audience, you guys have been together for how long? At some point, we have to ask, so where do we go from here? We've been repressed. We all know that. We know our history here. What do we do now? Who's going to improve our circumstance now? Who has the answers? Without uniting, we're going to stay in the same place. Things are getting worse. They're not getting better. So who's going to meet that demand? We have to get them in the public school system. And we have to have our external programs as well. Our program, our matrix program, is already in the public school system and doing well. I introduced it in Florida. You can think about the impact that my classroom had on a campus. That was the Matrix Project. Telling my kids that I'm going to pay them if they commit themselves to this learning process. And if they fail to become prosperous after they exert themselves to become good students, intellectual, that I would pay them. I put out a challenge like that, and I've mentioned it several times. If a student came to me and said, Coach Drummer, explain, show me, I can show you where I've really tried, I took you up on your bet, and I'm not succeeding. I would talk to that kid, examine that young man, because they're young men and ladies now, and I'd have to deal with that because that was a promise that I put out. But I was that committed to my kids. I knew what educating yourself could do for you, and I knew what our community needed. So I put myself on the line in that way. I still do that. And that was the beginning of my career. That was 30 years ago that I was thinking like that and bossing like that and getting in trouble with principals and challenging the system. That was 30 years ago. So imagine what I feel like now and how I am now. But this isn't about me. Let's get our program in the public school system. Let's make sure that we have a system of empowerment that permeates every single thing that concerns us, from youth activities to enrichment activities, intramural activities, extramural activities, athletics, college. There's nothing that we cannot touch. Numbers and unity say that we can make an impact in every area that concerns us. We have a few more minutes. I want to read this letter of my student, Whitney, who in high school, young lady Whitney Carter. This is a letter from her. She said, "Dear Coach Drummer, I wanted to thank you for being such a wonderful teacher. You opened our eyes to so much. You taught me sports as well as leadership, and you did a lot for me more than teaching me. When I came to your class at the beginning of the year, I was heading down a bad road. I was getting suspended. I didn't care about school at all. But then you were talking about bright-eyed students, and that's where you inspired me. Thanks to you, I pulled up my grades. I'm doing better in school. I've heard a lot of teachers talk about the things you do about bright-eyed students and everything, but they don't understand what it's like to be a team, as well as the fact that you were real with us from the beginning. You are my favorite teacher, just for the simple fact that you showed us how it is and you didn't just accept 80%. You knew what we were capable of and you made sure we gave our all. And you also saw things in other students that other teachers didn't. You saw more than dreads, grills, and jewelry. You saw the best in them, and I speak on behalf of me and the other students that you have inspired. All I'm saying is thank you for being such an outstanding teacher, and hope that you are very successful as you have helped me become successful." That's the impact that I'm talking about. Like, this is pretty scientific. She mentioned bright eyes. This story came from a book. I said it was a 5th grade book, but it actually wasn't. It was a college book, I think, a college or high school book. But so that I can include that book in talking about the story, the story is called "If I'm So Smart, How Come I Flunk All the Time?" That book, that story is inside the Matrix Project. I didn't write it. A gentleman by the name of Scott Frost wrote it. Oh man, I searched for that brother. He's somewhere. He's like 98 years old, because I didn't want to violate copyright. But I had to put that book and share it with kids all over the world. I finally caught up with this guy. It took me months to catch up with this guy, and we finally caught up with him. I've talked to a nephew who talked to a such and such who hit up somebody else. I was like going all over the place to find this guy, and we finally caught up with him. He's like in Scotland or something like that, and he's 98 years old. I thought I was going to have to pay him to use it, but he said, no, he's so thrilled that someone wants to use it and that we even remember him from way back when. So it's in the book. So go purchase a copy of The Matrix Project. It's awesome. It taught kids how to be the best student in themselves and how to hold every single person accountable. So as we overturn the negative effects of those negative movements that overtook our community, because our community was in Africa, it wasn't here. We're African. That's one of the main things you got to remember too. We're African. We're African. We're from Africa. We're from Africa. All my dashikis and my kufis and my, medallions and things like that. Man, I'm just trying to remember who I really am. I don't know everything. I don't know a lot of stuff. I plan on moving to Ghana someday if the Lord grants me that, if he grants that to me. Oh, my Lord. My kids know the only reason I hadn't left yet is because of them. And that is 100% true. But my point is, we're African, guys. We were abducted and brought here, and that chaos has permeated everything that we do even now. So to overturn those four major things: Jim Crow, Willie Lynch, intellectual apathy, Jim Crow, slavery, Willie Lynch, intellectual apathy, we're going to have to unify. We're going to have to plant seeds early on before our kids get conditioned to buffoonery. Excuse me. This is why we say that the Matrix Project is so important. Culture consists of three main things. I'm sorry, I'm thinking about the negative movements. Culture consists of three main things. Culture is everything that the people do. We absolutely have to think about our visual artifacts, how things look. That's why I wear dashikis. It's not popular or cool in America, but I know who I am. I'm African. So why would I like a polo shirt more than I like a dashiki? Who told you that? Who has me thinking a African that a polo shirt, Ralph Lauren? I'm not up on fashion, and so I don't know what the latest things are. Unless it was made by, an African who is the designer, Kanai, Rockaware, I guess Damon Dash, Diddy, all those guys, the fashion designers. You can tell I'm out of touch. I know I'm missing some major names, but those are the guys. Like, okay, if you're patronizing them, fine. But I think I feel good in dashikis. I think we should wear them more often, not just during the month of February, and not just for certain events. Why would you not just represent your African self as often as you can? You already converted back to natural hair, and that was supposed to be a move for consciousness sake, I assume, So keep moving. Keep moving. What up, Mike? Appreciate you, my brother. So let's keep moving. I'm gonna have to wrap this up, but remember, culture consists of your visual artifacts, your unwritten beliefs, the things that were taught in your mind that they're right. Think like this, whether they are dysfunctional or not, and most of them are. But culture consists of that, and culture consists of your written document. We're trying to put this document in everybody's hand. It's an interactive workbook that discusses all the areas that thriving people need to consider. Thriving communities have considered these 7 things. Once we get that together, so we said we were going to unify, and we needed to get our kids early because that's where our kids are conditioned for 7.5 hours a day. And then we'll have your community centers, your outreach and your enrichment programs, and our everything that adults like. I'm willing to train at a cigar club. I'm willing to train at anywhere. Like, we enjoy humor and playing over taking care of business. That's unacceptable. So get a copy of the Matrix Project from the Amazon bookstore, and just continue to attend the podcast, because we're doing our best to develop the culture and love our people. This is that legacy that we talk about, like leaving a legacy. once we pass on, those that are behind us will be able to grab onto something that we wrote. The Bible even says, write the vision, make it plain, so that those who see it, so that they can understand it and run with that thing. We're doing the exact same thing. Like, we're given in the culture, we're given a written document that's readable. Read it, see it, study it, get it in your mind. We'll set your schema, your worldview, the way you see things and the way you think. Excellence is our standard. Who told us that a dashiki is not cool? Who told us that straightened hair, processed hair, was better than your curled, nappy hair? Who told you that big backside that I just happen to love, I'm just saying, from our women is unbecoming? Who said that those big lips, those full lips that we have, that's not the bomb? Who said your chocolate skin was not choice? But who said that your caramel skin wasn't either? Who said you're lighter skinned than that? And I don't know how to name all the colors of skin tones, but black is black. Black is black. For anyone who's watching this podcast, and mostly black people watch it, so but I am making it clear that, we don't discriminate. Like, I'm just building and doing what God said do. You take this information, take it to your people, if you're Hispanic, Asian, whatever, white, whatever, and you do what you will with it. But at the end of the day, why this is good for all people and not just black people, ultimately, that's God's plan. He gave me the vision for his glory, and he said that that's going to help everybody. Once we stand up and see ourselves right, that's going to help us help other people see themselves right, and then they're going to see God right. That's the vision. But how this Matrix project is good for everybody is because this builds healthy people. It builds healthy people. It doesn't just build people, it builds healthy people. These are my sons. I always want to give them a shout out. Wesley, Quincy, Xavier. Since I'm giving shots out, my babies, Lee and T. Hey, Lee T, what's up, baby? Y'all good? My twin daughters. And I'm almost embarrassed to pull Marquis' picture because this is his kid picture. Like, who does that? This is Marquis Drummer, my firstborn. So that's that. So that's that. I love him to death. And where's my boy Mike Shannon, my foster son, who is the bomb, who I told him I would never forget that again. I don't have any hard pictures, so now that's something I'm gonna have to get. But I'm gonna adopt that dude someday. I'm so pleased and I love him so much. But Mike Shannon, I got love for you, boy. I know you're gonna see this video. You're a son to me, so that's that. So I'm looking forward to the next time when we can see each other. So that's that. But we have to get involved, guys. The Matrix is a definite great way to do it. The Matrix. If the Matrix is the written document that is going to overturn slavery, Jim Crow, Willie Lynch, intellectual apathy, imagine these 7 areas that you are to focus on, that the Matrix discusses. You want to teach your children these things so that they can get to their highest self, so that excellence can become a value of theirs, of wanting to be the best. Energy, they ready to go. They ready to work every time they go. In everything, all the time, they ready to come. Efficiency, doing things the smartest and easiest way at all times. Working smarter, not harder. Execution, getting the job done without excuses. They're self-driven to walk in independence because they don't want us all in their space. If we're going to develop leaders, that's the way in which to do so. If you want leaders, create leaders. Put them in those positions to lead. The 7 pillars, and then this is going to be the end of the podcast. And I appreciate you guys looking in. The first one is become a healthy person in all 5 areas: spiritual, emotional, mental, physical, and social. The second thing is become effectively educated. Not just book smart, but you have to become book smart too, but common sense smart more importantly. And then you have to become a part of a prosperous community. See yourself as a community. Don't let people make your skin a stigma, like it's a negative thing. Don't let people make your neighborhood a stigma, like it's negative. It's not. Okay, see it as positive. Okay. The next thing is accountability. Swiftly fulfill your obligations. Get your done without having other people to pine after you and clamor after you. No. And if you do that, your children will do the same. Number 5, legacy. You want to understand how to develop a legacy. The Matrix Project has a very thorough chapter on legacy. Who's the legacy giver? Who's the legacy receiver? Telling the responsibility of both parties, because no matter how hard you work, you don't know what your legacy is going to be. It's going to be perceived by those left behind. So you want to do the best you can to instill that in them so that there's no confusion. The 6th thing is economic development. That's what we're talking about, guys. This whole podcast is about finding business partners that can work together. If we're going to overturn those effects, we have to create generators, recycling centers, where we can invest our money in certain areas, and where we can invest our money in certain areas and keep our money in our neighborhood. Recycle. Instead of those trillions that have to go out, we can cut that amount down significantly by offering services. But if we're not going to come together and align and work together, create alliances, then we're just talking. The last thing is community protection. Make sure that your community is thriving and prosperous at all times. Prosperity just means faring well on your journey. So as time go on, we want to be prospering, faring well. So if you have cancers inside of your home, deal with it. Don't let cancer just eat up your home until it dies. It's easier said than done. And outside cancers as well. Don't ignore them and just close yourself in your house and feel like you're okay. You're not. Okay. So that's that. Thank you so much for looking in with us. We're about to go to our Instagram podcast right now at 9:00. Yeah, it's a lot, but my hair is on fire to get this thing done. God gave the vision, and I've decided to go all in. So I appreciate you guys. I love you all so much. Please like the video, share the video if that's possible, and just give a good word. Join our YouTube page and our Instagram, follow us, and we're just doing the best that we can. And I need your support. We need your support. I love you guys. I'm available at any time if you'd like to talk about any of our business or presentations, but I'm looking forward to seeing you again. All right. Peace. Love you.